podcast with me, Webby10, Matty B Raps, and Joel. And today we have the special guest of Tom Busby, who is head of Wisely Sixth Form. So, Joel, do you want to start us off with a topic then?
I mean, what do you want to discuss? Are we discussing news, Wisely? What specifically do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about news now.
The news. I don't really know what's been going on, to be honest. All I know is that, Brexit means Brexit.
Indeed.
That's going to be happening this year, surprisingly. So we've got,
If it happens.
yeah. Well, I personally think it will happen.
May, isn't it?
Pardon?
The date sometime in May, isn't it?
I think it's March. I'm pretty sure.
March.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's March.
Sometime around there.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of deal they'll get, we don't know. But I think it has to be March because we go to Barcelona with the school in April.
The Checkers deal is basically out of the window now.
Yeah.
So we're just deciding on what type of deal now. No deal. Well, there was a recent vote where 302 compared to the 297 MPs voted for a no deal.
Yeah. Well, everyone started changing their mind after they saw the economy crash.
But yeah.
So
There's also news in China about how they've slummed as well.
what? Because of Brexit?
Oh no, not because
Oh, I was gonna say.
trade war with the US.
Oh yeah.
It slummed from 9.9% to 9.5% quite recently. So
Yeah.
and it's affecting everywhere across the globe. Well, the World Bank is now just warnings of darkening days coming ahead and stuff like that. But yeah.
I think Brexit will happen.
You do.
Yeah. How well? What kind of deal we'll get? I don't know.
Yeah.
In a no deal.
I think it will. It is bound to happen. Like we voted out. As much as people wanted to change their vote, I don't see it changing.
Another topic is how we don't really have any proper leaders, do we?
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is, we've got the MPs, but none of them want to kind of run the
None of them
leaving
paid
EU.
by the neck and actually
Yeah.
lead us. Like,
Everyone thinks the ship's going down, that's why.
Yeah,
yeah,
but,
pretty much.
I spoke to my dad, and he reckons that if we do actually get out, he thinks Boris Johnson, as crazy as it sounds, he's like, to be where he is, he's got to be really clever. You know what I mean? But
There's some element to it.
yeah, my dad says, or he thinks that if we get out of the EU, he thinks if Boris Johnson gets in, he'll be able to run the country quite well because he did actually want to leave. So
I think the whole act of being the Prime Minister
Oh,
during Brexit is a brave situation. You know
yeah,
what I mean, taking that on.
Also, our special guest has joined in.
Yeah, hello.
Introducing Tom, the head of Sixth Form. Is our special guest.
he runs the whole sixth form.
So Tom, what are your thoughts on the current situation and Wisely with the no phones ban?
I mean, to be honest, as the rules go, it's pretty much the same in the sixth form. It's basically you can't use your phone anywhere else, so you can't just
It's
wave
pretty
it in people's face.
ridiculous though, isn't it? Because what about research and all of that?
Well, you'll find that when you're in a classroom with a teacher, they'll be more than happy to just let you whip your phone out and use it for research. I mean, it's more referring to when you're just messing
Phones.
about and...
Just in like general areas.
Oh, yeah.
The main concern with it was the photos being taken in classes. Really, I think more than
Well,
anything.
yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for the teachers, really, the people who are trying to tackle it. Like, think how impossible it is to try and police mobile phones. Like,
Well, it's
Well,
impossible.
can't
Yeah.
do it.
Keys now, don't they? Or is
You
that
lot-
still inbound?
The walkie-talkies for prefects apparently.
Yeah. Soon enough.
I can see that getting joked around with quite a lot,
Yeah.
but
That's not going to work. That's just going to get out of control.
Yeah.
it'll last. I reckon it'll last for like a week, and then after that, she'll probably go out the window. To be honest, so
So, tell us a bit about the Barcelona trip, Tom. Because you're going on it, aren't you?
I most certainly am, yes.
So tell us a bit.
Sloan trip, that. I think it's the 15th of April for about 3 days.
Yep.
I
Aim
am lagging
to,
really badly right now. What the fuck?
Good.
It's not good.
Their main aim for this reasonable time, because last year we had at ridiculous o'clock in the morning,
last year
and
when
everyone was just
we
knackered.
checked that.
Yeah.
Wasn't the
somehow.
first day mostly just people sleeping on like a coach or
The
something?
first day, we didn't even have time to sleep. We got to the Anne Frank Museum, and there was this like really nice woman talking to us about it, and all of us were just nodding off.
Have you seen in Bad Education when they go to the Anne Frank Museum?
Yeah, there was no pandas there when we went. Surprising.
Unfortunately not. That's a shame.
What about? I heard that you sent a letter to Sajid Javid.
Oh yeah,
About?
the Rubery Library. So there's.
Oh, that was a good
basically-
protest, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, there was an idea to try and shut that down, and people use it, and you know, it's an information source. Well, I like to call it the information station of Waisley, because you know, as an underfunded school, resources are difficult to get, and so that library was like gold dust, really. And the fact that they're closing it down just makes it that much more difficult for Waisley, who already finds it a bit difficult in many aspects.
But
So,
that aspect of not really anyone actually using that library,
Well-
and everyone using the actual school library. So
The thing is, yeah, Waisley's well, Waisley and Worcestershire, where we're situated, is one of the most underfunded areas for schools in the whole country.
Way below us, isn't it?
Yeah, we're like
yeah,
fourth,
the fourth
lowest
fourth
funded.
worst.
So it just shows that, you know, although we've got our own library, it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't support the students enough. So
Unnecessary.
having another library just down the road from the school supports it even more, especially when you've got a lack of funding.
I think the issue is that we're in a time period now where people are more reliant on phones and all of that, and
Yeah.
I think schools are trying to be more reliant on technology, trying to keep up with other schools like
When schools are
bigger
banning
schools.
mobile phones.
Yeah, like King Edward. Well, you know what I mean, to do with like research and everything. Schools
Yeah.
are more reliant on computers, all of that. Trying to keep up with bigger schools like King Edward and all of that. So
Trouble is, like, technology has been around for, like, the way it's available now has been around for at least a decade. And, you know, no curriculum has changed. Like, books are still necessary in, like, young people's learning. They always have been, they always will be. There's something about a physical book that you can never get with Wikipedia. You know what I mean?
but
Like, it teaches you literacy skills. It teaches you just, like, how to research something in depth and accurately and actually putting time into it, rather than just quickly whipping out some website where some random blokes uploaded a blog. And books are still important, and that's why they're still part of the curriculum, isn't it?
Well,
okay.
we
well,
know,
you
yeah, we know through doing English. This is mainly me and you, Tom. That there are kids coming up into Waisley in year 7 who have a reading age of like 4 years old, which is just insane to think about. They're 11, 12-year-olds, and they can only read to the same capacity that a 5-year-old could. Like,
Yeah.
that just
A lot of
shows how
it-
bad the education system is.
Okay, do you think schools have developed enough through time, such as like what technology has, or something else like what cars have, or stuff like that? Or do you think that it's...
I don't think the school needs the technology. What they've got the books. Books have worked
It's
for
not broke,
hundreds of
don't
years.
fix it.
Yeah.
I saw a recent article about how stuff like cars from the 1930s to now have developed quite a lot. Same with, well, obviously technology wasn't back then, but now it is. But with schools, classrooms have relatively stayed the same, still using books, etc, stuff like that. So, don't you think that if we want to actually try and develop our understanding, then about, well, expand our knowledge, surely we need new stuff like better.
Well, the thing is with schools is it's not like technology. It's not like a car. With a car, if you want to, you can get a better all this sort of stuff. in black and white on how to make fuel more a social issue. Schooling way of fixing it, and so when everyone's mind is working different, the process is a lot because everyone has to compromise for each other's ideas and put them all together to create contrasting ideas with things like that. It's something that where evolution of it becomes so slow that, as you say, Ben, schooling now is pretty much no different to how it was, 100 years ago.
I think comparing a school to a car or a phone, though, is quite drastic, because if you think about it, a school is so much harder to upgrade in comparison to a phone or a car. A car you can take to a garage down your road, you can get a new engine stuck in it, you can get a new clutch put on the car, but you can't just, you can't just get a bunch of, built it, to redo a whole school and make it all technologically advanced and all that. It costs so much more money. It's a much more complex process. I think, Tom, you said that, didn't you speak to Mr. Roll about getting a card system in the CAF or something?
Yeah, we were talking to him about that, and it cost something like 12 grand to install.
Yeah.
And it's something that schools are actually starting to try and phase out now anyway. So it would be, an
It's
unwise
an
investment.
unnecessary waste of the budget. There's so much more you could spend it on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
What's like the process?
What, of these card machines?
Yeah. Oh, so
Well-
an actual car machine, so just like to just buy stuff from it, rather than having to use like money and stuff like that.
It's for
Yeah,
the
basically.
when you get older, like our age especially, as like sixth formers, I personally hardly ever carry cash. I just purely carry a card on me. So it's for the fact that if I need to go and get food and I don't have cash on me, I can just go with a card to the CAF and put my card on into the machine and be able to buy whatever, that kind of
So
thing.
do you think that there's better ways of teaching people than schools?
Well, it depends what you mean by teaching people. You can teach people in an academic way in school.
Okay,
You can
life
teach-
lessons then.
Okay, life lessons. The only life lessons I think you'll learn in school is how to deal with people you don't like, and how to coexist amongst other people. If you think of a little baby that's never had any social human interaction properly, all it does is cry and just think me, I want this, I want that. If you're in a situation where you're around other people, if you sit there saying me, I want this, I want that, people dislike you, and it just makes your life a lot more difficult. And so
Do you,
there you are.
do you think that school misses out on key aspects of life that you need to learn, but maybe it's just pulling you back from that and holding you back?
I wouldn't say it holds you back. It just doesn't tell you.
That's I think
It's not lying. It's just not telling.
I think that it's been a major problem in the education system for years, to be honest. When I leave school, I'm not going to lie, I don't know what to do to go and apply for, I don't know, a credit card. I don't know what to do to go and buy a car on finance instead of just paying front up on cash. We don't get taught that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get taught subjects that in life will get us into university, which will then get us a good job. But it's alright having a good job, but if you can't actually run your life properly and you're able to be successful outside of your job, you know what I mean? Like, what can you do?
Well, it's like, imagine you've got someone, right, who's got, a master's university degree in something like English literature, for example, and they're a complete expert, and they'll have a really high up job. They'll be really well paid and really well respected. If you imagine that person and go and tell them to rewire a plug or something like a basic life skill like that, they'll be crying. They won't have a clue what to do, and it will actually be quite hilarious watching them try and do it.
You're not taught how to live nowadays.
Certainly.
Yeah, that is the problem. We're taught how to do things that we probably won't need in our life, and we don't actually get taught what we have to do to succeed.
Okay, so Theresa May came out recently and said that education funding was at a record high and more children were in good and outstanding schools.
I think that's bullshit, to be honest.
As much as the funding, it's not really making that much of a difference to education in some way.
No,
mean,
still similar.
It's not just
with
to do
any
with funding.
politician, well, with any politician, you know, they'll tell you these statistics, but you can base statistics off whatever you want. I mean, I could go around and survey all of the private schools of England and see how well funded they are, and say, oh, well, there you go, schools are really well funded, you know. But you don't know that in my statistics, I haven't taken into account, you know, the comprehensive school of the council estate. Like, this is the thing, it's so easy to skew statistics that you just go out and look for yourself if you want to know something like that. And don't listen to someone who, especially, is a politician, because they're just using it to their own ends.
I think with the private school public school debate, like if you compare the two schools, like a private school is so much more like they can, like, let's just take Bromsgrove School for example. You know, it's the closest primary school, private school to us. They've got a swimming pool. They've got facilities for hockey, football, basketball, cricket, whatever you want. They have it there. Whereas a school like ours, what do we have? We have the courts. We have a field with 2 pitches on. We've got the rugby pitch that has the posts not even up. They're fallen down. And we have, 2 fairly small sports studios and halls. It's just...
Very limited.
It's very limited in comparison to what these kids get. But at the same time, you've got to remember that they're paying, 35 grand a year to be at that school. And unfortunately, not everyone can afford to do that.
Okay, so that was a good little chat about school and education and everything, but I want to try and move to a different topic, and more particular, how Google Assistant has reached 1 billion devices. So
Oh, here we
what are
go.
your thoughts on that?
Google what?
Google Assistant.
The Alexa.
Alexa, okay, yeah.
Smart homes.
What's your opinion?
I mean, I'm wondering how long it's going to take till this conversation becomes, oh, the government's trying to listen to you.
Well, there's a lot of debate over whether they are. Because if you ask, it's like, I assume you've seen the videos, like loads of people have seen the videos on YouTube. If you ask Alexa, do you work for the FBI, it shuts itself down. It just completely shuts down. And it won't answer you for like a few minutes, and then it'll turn itself back on and reboot. So, but there was also, I saw something very recently, but I think it was from a few months ago, but I only just saw it. But someone was they were in their home, and it was an Alexa again, and they were talking about getting new hardwood floors in their living room, and it sent a recording of them speaking about these hardwood floors to their friends. Like, that's pretty insane, to be honest.
Do you think AI is taking over the world and eventually will take fully over the world or anything like that?
That's a very Elon Musk question, I find.
Yeah.
You know,
It's certainly getting more prominent around, isn't it? So.
Yeah, Stephen Hawking said before he died, he actually, he was one of the people who genuinely believed that artificial intelligence was going to be the most dangerous thing that humans would ever create. If you think of the Avengers Age of Ultron film, that's literally what he was talking about. Literally, create something where you think it's going to be useful and a breakthrough, and it ends up just seeing humans as a disease to the earth, which we are really, whether you like it or not. And so it might actually seek out to try and get rid of humans or just reduce the amount of damage they do, which who knows how much that could affect us. And I think... Sorry, carry on.
It's fine. I just need to say, what I've done on my Instagram is I've made a poll asking a question about, do you think AI is going to take over? I just want to see people's answers towards
How long's that?
Oh, I'm lagging again.
Oh, right.
Okay. You can continue now, Tom, about what you were saying.
I can't...
You're talking about how humans were basically a disease to the planet?
Oh, yeah, basically, it's just Stephen Hawking. He firmly believed that artificial intelligence is one of them things where just because we can...
But I think... No, I think that's a bit of a... Let's be honest, we've brought quite a bit to this. Although there's been some stuff that's moved drastic, such as fossil fuels and stuff, still brought to this world.
What
And
sort of
especially-
advantages?
Being able to soon, hopefully, travel to Mars and
Well,
stuff like that. I think it's just
I think that we have brought lots of stuff to the world as well, but what always confused me is that how our generation, or very recently, we have brought in the idea of technologic advances, blah blah, all that shit. But there's so much debate about the pyramids and how that they were built, considering the technology back however many years ago it was. Was technology before us and we've refound it, or was?
well, we have the answer for that, don't we?
Do we really?
Have you not seen Predator?
Unfortunately,
You're an
Ben,
idiot.
that's not real. But you know,
But yeah, I get what you mean, but I don't know. There's obviously something that happened back there that must have got lost through time. Really got the answer towards that, but
Well, knowledge is the most powerful thing that human losable. The most I can't think of the word. The easiest thing to lose is knowledge.
if it's not written down or put into a document, it gets lost so easily. Or because it's all memory. If you don't write it down, it's memory, and if you lose that memory, it's gone.
In a person's brain, it'll die. It's either in a person's brain, it's in a physical. Need to go into how destructible. You know, it's one of the most amazing advances information, but we needed a magnet, and it's gone.
true. Well,
Magnet or a bit of
that's true. To be fair, but we're running out of time in a minute, so that will be all for today. Thanks, Tom, for joining the
Yeah.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm honoured. It was brilliant.
That was a good discussion as well. Thanks,
Yeah.
to Joel as well for presenting.
No problem.
Yes.
And that's it now. So
Hopefully we'll
thanks
see you
everyone who was
soon.
viewing as well.
You know what? We hit 9 viewers. I saw it in the bottom corner of my screen. 9 viewers we got. I don't know who they were, but shout out to the 9 viewers that appeared in the stream.
Shout out to the 9 viewers.
You know,
But that will be all. Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks for watching. See ya.
Bye
Bye.
everyone.